1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. over here and press it. There we go. Okay. Oh, awesome. Now I can see you as well, Cindy. Cindy, Alex. Ah, see, now we've got people dropping in. And Sharon. It's when we get that pop-up, isn't it? We get that pop-up in Windows to say, oh, you've got a meeting. Okay, well then I'll go. But not before, because that would be too soon. You got to be fashionably late. That's the idea, I think. So I did post the mural in the chat as well as in the. I think I posted it in the tool that I used. Did I put the mural there? Oh, I maybe didn't. So I will edit that, the workshop description, and stick it in there just now. Right. I've put it in there. That way, if people come late, I don't have to keep posting it in the chat. Because you know what that's like with the temporary joining thing. Okay. Malina, how are you doing?
Oh, sorry, not too bad, thanks. That's my first time here, so I was just watching and maybe something.
Well, something you will come to realize is there is no watching in my sessions. Everybody
Workshop.
everybody participates, but it is fine. There are no wrong answers. There's only things we can learn and find out. That's kind of the point. So we're gonna talk a little bit about agile leadership. I have tried to curate some content that will help us dive into some aspects of agile leadership, but we only have an hour and a half. You know, we can't cover everything. And even in the I do a 2-day agile leadership class with Scrum.org. Even then, you can't cover everything that you might want to cover. So let's. I'm going to start off with a little introductory exercise here. I have a set of statements in a box. So I'm going to summon everybody on the mural. There we go. So I have effectively five rooms here, and each room has 7 questions. Okay. And what we are going to do is we are going to either answer with a yes or a no to any of those questions. I'm just putting some ticks and crosses around our view for us so that we can grab them. There we go. We can always get more. You can always copy and paste, so that will get more. But if you zoom into one of the items, when I put you in breakout rooms, I'd like you to go to the box that represents the number of your room. So at the top of the Teams window, on the title bar, it will tell you the room number, right? So it'll say room 1, room 2, room 3, and we will. I want you to discuss and answer the questions that you see there. So the statements rather than questions. So let's see, who have we got? Let's do, everybody's in alphabetical order. So I'll just do that for room 1. Oh, 1, 2, 3. For room 2, 1, 2. Oh, there's 2 Sharons. I'll fix that. 1, 2, 3. For room 4. And then I think, well, I'll put the other Sharon in room 4 as well, because then that will hopefully. So, right, I'm assigning everybody to the rooms. As new people drop in, I'll send them in to meet with you, okay? So it depends how many people we get. And I'd like you to just drag on a tick or a cross to each of those statements. Just agree in your group. There should be at least 3 people in each group for you to have that conversation with, okay? So I'm going to open the room just now. You will just transcend into your breakout rooms and then come back when we're finished. I don't think it will. I'll probably put 5 or 6 minutes on the timer, and I'll see how you get on. Okay. I'll be monitoring from here. We have Amanda and Oh, room 1 is still opening. So let me... there we go. Room 1 is active. Amanda, Nelly, I am just going to pop you guys into room 3. And there we go. You guys are heading into room 3. If you go to the number 3 on the mural, which you should find in the chat here, which I'll paste in the chat again if I can. No, I can't.
I'm sorry, I'm having a couple of issues. I'm trying to get my team in here and we're having issues joining.
What sort of issues are you having joining?
She cannot hear any audio.
Was that Cynthia?
No, her name is Andrea.
Andrea. Okay.
And Ashley.
So it might be a setting in Teams. So in the Teams window, if you click on the ellipse and go to device settings, you can pick a different speaker and a different microphone, and sometimes that's the problem. 90% of the time, it's the device settings. So I see we got a few folks join. Let me see who's in what rooms. I am going to pop Christopher. Welcome. I just put the mural in the chat, and I'm going to pop you in room 3. Okay, let me open that room. Oh dear, now it's all gone to pot. Peter's here. You okay there, Peter? Da, da, da. And I'm having a camera issue, Peter. You're having a mic issue and I'm having a camera issue. Yeah, I still can't hear you. You're on Teams thinks you're on mute.
I'm good.
Okay. I'm not. I'm upset with my camera. So we got a few people coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign you to I am going to assign you to room 5. Everybody that just came in that doesn't have a room assignment. So that's Andrea, Peter. I thought there was 3 of you, but I will sign anyway. Somebody's on hold. Victoria's on hold. So Peter, I'm going to open the room. Do you have the link to the mural? Did you manage to get a hold of it? There's no audio, Peter.
Have you dropped it into the chat?
I'm just dropping it into the chat. I did put it on the community group as well. But it is in the chat now. Oh, let's see what this person... I've got a few people that are having difficulty. Let me grab a link. Did you get a call to go out to No, you didn't, Peter. Now you will. So you're in room 5, Peter? Will probably not be too long, but you can answer a couple of the questions as we get a few more people in. For anybody that's online, that's trying to figure out how to get into the meeting, if you go to the community channel, you should see a live button there on the left. Click the live button, and then you will see this free workshop 5. Go into the live event and then click the webinar link just there. And just below that, I've put the mural link as well, so you can get prepared to join in. So the web link and the mural link are on that event there. Okay. We've got quite a few answers. Oh, wow. Room 2's, I think, doing pretty well. Okay. Brianna, you okay? Ah, cool. I saw you type yes. I can't hear you. You're on mute. That's okay. Don't worry. I'm going to bring everybody back in just a moment. As we get started, there's quite a few answers already in the board. So, oh, that's interesting. Room 5 has not answered anything. Looks like this side of the room is pretty done, so I can clean up some of those. There we go. And I'm going to bring everybody back and then reveal the answers I have over on the right. So I'm going to close that, unlock that, and bring in the answers. Okay. All right, Peter's just going to answer them all correctly now. Peter, I saw you looking at the answers before you answered them.
No, I didn't actually.
Okay. Were those interesting questions? Oh, my video is frozen again. Were those interesting questions?
Yeah.
Did they spark some debate?
Pretty interesting discussions.
Yeah. So on the right-hand side, if you're in the mural and you're following me, I'll summon everybody. There we go. We get 18 people in the mural. I'm not sure we've got 18 people in here yet. I put the Teams link. Oh no, we do. I put the Teams link on the mural there, just in case some folks were having a hard time finding it. But there's the answers I'm giving, I guess. Oh, I'm frozen again. Dagnammit. I have 2 cameras and one of them's playing up, so I'll be using this one. It means I'm not looking at you. I apologize. But we'll figure that out for later. So we had a number of questions. If teams are failing, then I'm failing as a leader. Right? Seems to be that. Oh well, there's some confusion in group 1. They want both true and false in both of those answers, and the red X is much bigger than the green tick. So somebody didn't like the green tick and made it smaller. Ah, right. So I would say if you've got failing teams, for me that's a leadership issue, right? We as leaders are responsible for the effectiveness of our teams. We're going to help them get better at working together, get better at doing things, and sometimes that's hard. If your teams are succeeding, then you are succeeding as a leader, right? The job of a leader is not to manage up, right? Although sometimes we end up managing up a lot. Job of a leader is to help create an environment within which the people doing the work can get it done. Removing obstacles from their path, changing things in the organization, getting them the things they need. Leadership can be tough. I like this one. A leader must never show emotion or people will perceive them as weak. Have you heard that expression? Because I've heard that expression from leaders. Yeah, Alex is nodding there. Luckily, everybody marked that one as a cross, so that's good. A leader's job is to create goals and enable people. Almost everybody put a tick in that one. Yeah, if we're telling people what to do and how to do it, we're not leaders, we're managers.
But we agreed that it should be, he is a part of the team and whole team should create their goals. So in this way, it could be true.
So I agree, but if we look at leadership at the macro rather than the micro level, I might not be a leader on a team. I might be a leader in an organization. I have 20 or 30 teams that work within my department, and I'm leading 20 or 30 teams. It doesn't have to be one team, one leader, right? The leader that's on the team is usually the Scrum Master, right? The Scrum Guide talks about the Scrum Master as being a true leader who provides services to the team, the product owner, and the organization. Right? They're the embedded leader, but we still have leaders at other levels in our organizations. And even if we're on the team, we want to enable the team to create goals and help enable people. If we're higher up in the organization, maybe we're setting goals and strategic direction. I will have to find out what's interfering with my camera. I like that one. A leader must make every decision. Everybody was unanimous. That was good. I'm happy that everybody was unanimous there, and that leaders don't necessarily make all the decisions. And almost everybody was unanimous that people need to be inspired by the leaders. If you're uninspired by the work, do you do good work? If you're looking at the thing you've been asked to do and going, I don't care, are you going to do that work well? Are you going to be effective? No, we're kind of going to, we don't care. But if we're inspired to that work, if we're excited about that work, if we're invested in that work, we're going to put more into it, and that will be obvious in the outcomes of the work. Leader's job is to inspire.
Sometimes understanding the impact of our work can make a difference, right? In the way we do it.
Yeah, understanding the impact is really important for how we conceive of goals and direction. Right? What is it we're trying to achieve? What impact in the world are we trying to achieve with the work that we do? Right? And that might be, depending on the maturity of your organization, that you might not be looking at impacts yet. Right? You might still be focused on output. Oh, we need 20 more widgets per day. Okay, but what value does that provide to people? Who really cares about these widgets? Does producing 20 widgets get you 20 times more value, or should you be looking at something else? What's more value?
For us, ask us to be So we need to deliver those.
Well, but isn't that the difference between a boss and a leader? Right? A boss says, I need 20 more widgets. A leader says, we need to move this needle. Right? We need happier customers. What can I do to help you create happier customers? Yeah. And I love the one in the middle. Leader doesn't need to trust people. So why do most management practices predispose untrustworthy employees? Because they do. Right? During the Industrial Revolution, we had large amounts of uneducated workforce, and we were asking them to do boring, monotonous work. When they're doing boring, monotonous work, their brain disconnected from the work, as yours does when you do boring, monotonous work. And then you figure out, what can I do not to have to do this work? Because it's boring, monotonous, and I don't care. I just want my paycheck. Those characteristics of that type of work created this idea of untrustworthy employees that has gone through the years and is still prevalent today in management styles and management practices. And it's how do we combat that and trust people more so we can delegate more? Because you wouldn't delegate to the uneducated factory worker, would you? But you would delegate to the smart, knowledgeable, educated people that we have today. I would have to be a very unusual and capable uneducated factory worker that we would delegate to, right? I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, it's just going to be rare. Did you have any insights, Anna, going through those questions? Oh, looking for the mute button. It's always fun.
I does not agree with the second one. Because you mean leader by position. There might be a leader on position, but there might be the true leader in the team. So the leader by position can be not so good, but if you have a true leader in the team, they will be succeed. And it does not.
Would it make
the team because of the
I
position?
I agree with you 100%. If I changed the wording to be as an effective leader, I think that might caveat your issue there. Like, I'm definitely not saying that you can have successful teams because the leader is on the team in spite of somebody more senior who is inept. Absolutely. But then I would say that leadership lies with that person who is the leader, not the inept person who has the authority. Authority and leadership are not the same thing. The person who's the boss is not always the leader in an organization.
The management thinks that the team leader in position is doing all the good stuff, which is not true.
This is unfortunately there's an old adage that says that we are promoted to the levels of incompetence, right? And it's because people are good at what they do, right? I might be a really good software engineer, so somebody thinks I'll make a good manager of software engineers. So they make me a manager of software engineers, and I suck at managing software engineers. So they can't demote me, but they're not going to let me go any higher. So now all these software engineers are stuck with a bad leader, a bad manager, right? I think as we change the way we approach leadership of time leadership. So management in times past, right? Like the stuff that came out of the Industrial Revolution and the scientific management method were really designed around low empathy managers. You wanted low empathy managers because they might have to turn around and fire 500 workers. And they're just cogs in a machine, so nobody cares. Right? I mean, the workers care for sure, right? But leadership doesn't care, management doesn't care, they're resources. That's why lots of organizations call people resources, because then it feels bad when you fire people, right? But we're just going to get rid of some resources. We're going to refresh some resources. Right? It's where that mentality came from. But as we move into knowledge working space, we need empathetic leaders. Leaders with... Oh, I've got a little bit of an echo. SG, I'm just going to mute you there. There was some background echo. As we move into knowledge working, we need empathetic leaders that are able to be leaders, help remove impediments, help deal with our team and our people's maturity level and emotional safety and all of those things that your traditional manager couldn't care less about. And why don't you just be more of a professional, Alex? I don't mind if you got a unhappy time with this team. I don't care. You should be a professional. Right? That's not good leadership. That's maybe good management. Well, maybe good's probably pushing it a little bit.
I've heard even worse. What you were mentioning about the resources before. I came across a manager who was saying, the product's lifetime is shortening. It's so is the same with the resources. Meaning about the people that they need to turn and leave after 2 years or something. You need to fresh resources. Oh God.
Yeah, I have worked in jobs where the management style was work people hard, burn them out, because there's always new people coming in, right? That we can take advantage of is the undertone there that is not well said, right? I worked for a new media design agency, second job out of university. It was new media at the time, grey hair. It was new media. It means an internet agency, right? Web-based agency. And I was getting £16,000 a year. I worked 70 to 80 hours a week. And at the end of that year, I got my bonus handed to me and it was £250. Yeah, it's like, whoa, I can buy that, couple of Xbox games I wanted or whatever was the... Yeah. I kind of got handed the bonus and I handed over my notice. Was kind of not quite how it worked. I became unhappy in that job. Can you imagine? Yeah. Did I feel valued as an employee? No. Did I feel like I wanted to go the extra mile to help the business cope with their inability to plan? Right? Because you know how planning goes in a lot of organizations. No, I didn't feel motivated to do that. I didn't care to help them because they didn't seem to care about me. How do we prevent that? Well, there are a number of things that we can look at. One of the things that's really important is goals. Okay, we need goals because has anybody read a book by Dan Pink or maybe watched the YouTube video? Alex has. I know you have, Alex. I heartily recommend it. He wrote a book called Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates People. Right? And in it, he talked about the difference between our extrinsic motivators, which are when you as an individual are worried about putting food on the table and a roof over your head, all you care about is money, right? That's worries coming in from the outside. Once you don't have those worries, and I hope that none of you in a knowledge working position, right, are worried about putting food on the table or a roof over your head. You're probably not even that worried about, I'd like to buy the Dan Pink book, right? You'll just go buy it if you want it. You have a few pounds to spare, right? But what really motivates people is their inside motivators, their intrinsic motivators. So when you take money off the table, like you're getting enough to get the things you want. The intrinsic motivators are autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy, you want to feel like you're in charge of your own destiny. Mastery, you want to feel like you're good at the job you do, right? And purpose is you want to feel like what you're doing matters, right? I'm not doing something for no reason. So how do we create a sense of purpose inside of an organization? We set goals, not tasks. Right? Tasks don't have a sense of purpose. They're just a time-limited thing that gets completed. Goals give us a sense of purpose. What are we trying to achieve next? Who does it matter to? And then the level of your goal is going to change the way you look at that picture, depending on the maturity of your organization. So I've got 3 different types of goals listed here. I have strategic goals, which might be things like a product vision or a corporate vision, right? That might be your strategic goal. What are you trying to achieve as a company? But that might be very, I guess the British expression is pie in the sky. What's like something you can't actually reach out and touch because it's too far away. So you as an employee maybe I don't understand how the work I do today connects to that thing because it's too far away. So we have something called an intermediate strategic goal. And an intermediate strategic goal is far enough out that we've got vision and forethought and we're looking forward into the future, but it's close enough that we can still connect to it. We can still see how the work we do every day connects to that strategic goal. That's that intermediate goal there. And then we also have tactical goals. Tactical goals are what are you doing now? What are you doing today? Why are you getting up this morning? Right? In the Scrum world, right? This doesn't just apply to the Scrum world, but in the Scrum world, we have sprint goals. Sprint goals are our tactical goal. What are we doing now to make our next step forward? What's our next step? And then we have product goals, which are our next waypoint on the way to our intended destination. And the strategic goal is, where are we trying to get to? So that's the purpose of this. We've got the onion, I guess we call it the onion diagram here because it's got many layers. But there's the tactical goal. And Scrum really only talks about this bit at the bottom. Doesn't talk about all this other stuff. That's leadership and organizational strategy and product management. Scrum doesn't talk about those things, but we're going to have a business plan. We're going to have a product vision. We're going to have a roadmap. These are things I would expect companies to have. For each product, do you have a vision and a roadmap, and what are you trying to achieve? How do the people working on your products connect to the story so that they see how their work contributes? Right? There's definitely a little bit of an art and a skill in being able to make those connections. Because if people are connected to the work, they do better work. Because we feel like our work matters, that we know how we contribute. But we also need to be able to figure out how we get there. Right? Are we making progress towards these goals? Are our goals the right thing? So let's do a little exercise. Let's see how many people have we got now. We have 19 people. Damn, it's an uneven number. I was going to do pairs. Let's do threes. Ove, you're much smarter than me. What's 19 divided by 3? 6.33333333. See, I just popped my calculator. That's how I do that, so I don't have to think about it. I'm in a different mode from my coding mode. So I'm going to create 6 breakout rooms. Let's create 6. Recreate. 4, 5, 6. 6. Create rooms. And what I'll do is you're all going to be randomly assigned to the breakout rooms. So I'm sorry if you're in there with somebody you don't like. But what I would like, the next one will be random again, so you'll get somebody else. I'd like to use the first 6 rooms there. So go to the hex that matches your room number at the top. And create a list of things that you're measuring today in your organization. What are you measuring? Okay. So I've just started the breakout rooms. Take about 10 seconds to spin up. And then have a go at answering that question. And I'll put 5 minutes on the timer so you know how long you've got. Okay? That last room is still spinning up, Victoria. That's your room. It should be there. It should be started in just a moment. It's room 4's taking a long time to start. I wonder what's going on. Oh, you're frozen. That means you've gone. Awesome. I think everybody's gone. Teams is unsure. What the heck is wrong with my camera? Can I get under the desk and fix it in 5 minutes, or is that going to be a bad idea? What do you think, internet? I think it's going to be a bad idea, so I'm going to leave this one on. I can switch to the other camera. This is my new camera. It's supposed to be working better, but today it's been working great for the last 5 days, but today it's freezing up, so something must be different today on my computer. I don't know what it is. What I'll probably find is I'll just unplug it and plug it back in. Oh, I can unplug it and plug it back in because I can unplug it from here. Right, let's unplug it. There we go. Unplugged it. I plugged it back in. Let's see if that works. I will probably need to reset it. Oh, I double clicked in the wrong thing. Deactivate, reactivate. Let's see if that works, because I much prefer this camera. Okay, so we've got some story points. We've got some whip. What else have we got? I'll just release everybody that's following me. So, whip, velocity, yeah, story points, satisfaction, confidence. I'm going to grab a link to my good friend Christian's tool. They have a tool. Where is it? Teammetrics.theliberators.com. Let's try that. Oh, that's a participation link. Let's not do a participation link. Let's do a root link. There we go. I'm going to put that here. Oh, Christian, you need to fix this. Look, you've got no default image set for your team metrics page. That's not good. But I put it on there. Isn't there another one of these surveys at the Liberators? I think there is. Origin story, build with stakeholders one. Let's see, workshops. Oh, they have the zombie scrum guide. I don't see. Ah, doesn't matter. Liberators are awesome. So we have a lot of things. We have about a minute left on the timer. I know you're all hanging out here with me. If you're watching online, maybe nobody's watching. I don't know. I can't see. So that's just the way it is. But velocity, capacity, resource for budget reports. Yep. But cumulative flow, burn down as well, sprint report. There's some good things. What's over here? Number of points delivered, number of hours in the office. Oh, oh, where's my skull and crossbones? How do you... I'll just type skull, and I bet I'll get a... Yeah, that's a death thing. There we go. Oh, maybe use that one. There's my... Oh, there's a skull and crossbones. Awesome. I'm going to get one of those over. Oh, number of hours in the office. Number of featured delivers in a sprint. Estimated velocity vs actual. Oh, yuck. Sprint goal, velocity, budget, uptime, backlog size, whip, story points, velocity. Oh, wow. Right, so let's close the rooms and bring everybody back. So have a look around the wall, do a little bit of a gallery walk and see what everybody else has put. I brought in a couple of lovely little skulls to put next to a couple of them. I number of hours in the office. That's an awesome metric. You work in a call center? I do know of somebody who did work in a call center, and they got measured on the number of minutes they spent on potty breaks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
When you put your phone, you have a button to go. Well, you have to go offline so you don't take more calls, and it asks you why are you going offline. So I'm going on a toilet break, a cigarette break, or whatever. And then your manager gets a sheet that says, here's how much time you spent on all these other things. Alex, you've spent too much time in the toilet today, right? That is not a conducive office experience for sure.
Yeah, lunch was amazing. Sorry.
This is the thing. When the only thing that mattered was our productivity, right? Because we were screwing the top on toothpaste tubes or whatever the packing boxes, right? Then those are how you measure people, right? Because that's money out of your pocket as a business. But in the complex cognitive world, Alex does his best thinking when he's sitting down doing something else, right? So it's not time away from work. It's actually time in work. It's just counted differently. Oh, there we go. Number of minutes in the... Yeah.
Like they say, it's where the inspiration happens.
It's where the inspiration happens, yeah. You just hope you can reach a pen. So, so the other one that I would like to call on, again, it's in room 1, is estimated velocity vs actual velocity. I just want to call on that one. That's a hard one, because what could have impacted a change in velocity for a team?
Unknowns.
Unknowns? What sort of unknowns?
No, maybe it's that, I don't know, someone is sick, and
Yep.
it's not the capacity. I think
Yeah.
actual velocity is, I think it's the capacity. So yeah, velocity, but you can't you take into account the number of workers, extra number of workers, I don't know, holidays or something, possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely, Melina. It could be people off sick. It could be, that time of year when everybody gets flu because their kids go back to kindergarten. It could be the something else is happening. Maybe it's what in different countries they have different holidays, right? There could be holiday days that week that shorten the sprint. It could be Christmas, right? Lots of people have Christmas off. It could be that we just took on something that we took on a piece of work that we thought we understood, and we find out halfway through the sprint that we didn't understand it.
Team availability.
But I want to ask, what do you mean saying estimated velocity? Because in my I understand the velocity like something based on the historical data. It's not estimation, but historical data.
I agree, Melina, but quite a lot of managers will say to the team, but the last few sprints, I've calculated your average velocity, so this sprint I want to see no less than 20 story points.
So this is the expectation.
Yeah, it's that expectation gap, because we're then constraining on scope again. Right? I'm trying to avoid constraining on scope. There's lots of...
Also...
Yes, sorry, Celio?
No, I was
oh, sorry, Alex.
It could be that you have a new member in the team and you spend some time training him.
Yeah.
Leadership called an all-hands meeting on Wednesday and took everybody in the team out for a half day, announced that we're going to be laying off 10% of the workforce, and now nobody works for the rest of the day because they're scared about losing their job and thinking about other things. They're all surfing job sites. These things happen, right? Well, velocity fluctuating is normal. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing predictable about it. Velocity, as Melina was saying, is a measure of the past, not of the future. It's just a measure of what happened. But there's lots of other things that are really good in here, like cycle time, number of clients affected, there's story points, burn down charts, team velocity. Definitely there's some that are very team focused, right? But there's also satisfaction down here in room 5. That could be customer satisfaction, or it could be employee satisfaction, couldn't it? Could be either. What about confidence? Confidence is good. How confident are your customers that you're going to deliver? Ooh, there's a measure.
That's also for the team and for the customers. So also that how confident the team feels for the next sprint, for example.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see that this confidence goes down, and that's the indicator for something in the team. Did they do the backlog refinement well? Was the information for somebody doing need some SMEs, some experts? So these are some small indicators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because we've got a high confidence doesn't mean we're right. Lots of bad things happen to people who are very confident that they can do something. Like when you're drunk and, you think you can make it. It's just maybe not going to happen. Yeah. But there's also some things up room 6, KPIs and OKRs. Right. So key performance indicators. I think there's more negative connotation around KPIs than OKRs. But lots of OKRs are also introduced incorrectly as something you should achieve. Whereas OKRs, if you meet 70% of your OKR, that's good in the definition of OKRs, right? So even good measures can be used badly, for sure. This is a good list. WIP limits, that's good at all levels. resources for budget reports. Is that people for budget reports? I'm just wondering, because sometimes, yeah, sometimes when we say resources, we mean things, and sometimes we mean people, right? Things should perform how we expect them to, right? I want my pencil sharpener to sharpen my pencils. What happens when my pencil sharpener stops sharpening my pencils? I throw it out and I get a new one, right? That's a perfectly reasonable attitude. Or I have to get a new blade or whatever I do. But if a person's underperforming, is it okay to just throw them out and get a new one? Nodding there. Alex is appalled. No, it's not okay, right? There's lots of things. They could have potential to be your best employee, your best creator, your best innovator, but something's not right. Maybe somebody else on their team, there's friction between team members. Maybe there's something going on, right? Maybe they work well not under pressure, right? And so you have to figure out as a leader, how do I create a circumstance where I can get the best out of all the people, right? Other than, what was that, Alex?
I was just going to say, I like the fact that the industry went from HR management to people management to talent management. These new terms, staying away from resources.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I did an Agile training the other day, and an email went out to all of the prospective students. Right, so it was a private class inside a company, and the email said mandatory training at the top, and it said in the body, all resources must attend. Right? How do you think that makes the all the meat must turn up in the it's
awesome.
If you read that as an employee, you're gonna be like, bastards. Like, you're just not gonna be happy with that. Doesn't create a good outlook. Right? Sometimes
I will know it. No one can over there because no one is resource over there. So no one is going to training.
and even when they go to training, they want to just sleep in the back and not participate because they were told to be there. Mandatory training is mental. So in order to connect people to goals, we have to have goals that focus at the right level, right? So you get a bunch of metrics there. Some of those metrics are focusing on output, right? But for example, satisfaction of your customers is probably more of an outcome than monitoring output. So the three categories of goals that I have here are activities. That's things that people do. Right? So how many tasks did you deliver today, Benjamin? Right? I delivered 4 tasks today and 5 tasks yesterday. Okay, your performance is going down, Benjamin. It's going down. Right? That's activity. But if you were screwing the top on toothpaste tubes, I did 30,000 yesterday, I did 32,000 today. Okay, well that's how we might measure that. And then output is things that the organization produces. Right? So that's that. I did 30,000 tubes today. And the outcomes. Things that the customer or users want in their product experience. The different experience that they have with the product. There's one level that I don't have on here. And that's impact. Impact is above. I should have had these the other way up, actually. Let's be fair. I should have put these the other way up. After outcome comes impact. What impact are you trying to make in the world with your product? Right? So if you think about companies that maybe focus on outcomes, what might be companies that focus on outcomes? I think I'm trying to think of something like Tesco's. A supermarket quite often focuses on the outcome. They want their customers to have a better experience when they come to the store. But sometimes they market it as, I want more stuff for my money. Right? Have you seen those marketing for supermarkets? Come to our supermarket and you get more stuff for your money. Is that an activity, an output, an outcome, or an impact? It's an output. More stuff, more things. The organization produces more things for the same amount of input. Good goals have certain characteristics. They should be ambitious, right? If it's just a mediocre goal, everybody's like, yeah. Right? How many of your friends, when they were trying to quit smoking, said, I'm gonna reduce the number of cigarettes I smoke from 20 a day to 19 a day. That's gonna be my goal. And you're kind of like, that's a bit of a rubbish goal, right? That's not very ambitious.
Never works.
And it never works. I agree, Melina. I was a smoker many years ago, and that one never works.
0 or 1.
A friend of mine's dad once told me that he'd not had a cigarette in 30 years. And he said, you never really quit smoking. You just don't have one in a really long time. That was his thing. So they should be ambitious. They should be specific. What do you want? You want to get something out of it, right? Something concrete. They should be transparent, right? We need to understand it. The stakeholders need to understand it. The team need to understand it. The organization needs to understand it. And they should be discussed all the time. Continually revisited. Is this still the right goal to have? Are we still going in the right direction? Do we need to change what we're working on? Even your product goal that you're going to have in Scrum, you should be revisiting it every single review. Are we still going in the right direction? Your business goals, right? Your business plan, are we still on track to get to our business plan? Should we change our business plan because it will be better if we go a different direction? They're always negotiable. Not negotiable, that's the wrong word. Discussed is the right word. Once you have a goal, stick to it. I didn't get halfway to my goal and that was good enough. So I've got a little card sorting exercise here. Oh, I didn't even... That shows me not prepared, doesn't it? Let me... Nope, I need to unlock those other cards. I have a look. So this little card sorting exercise, I'm just going to... Oh, well, that's going to be fun. Let me... How many groups do we need? Have we got more people again? Let's look. I think we got... Whoa, we lost a couple. That's what happens when we get... we cross that 1 minute over the hour or the half hour because people have other meetings booked or get interrupted. So let's do... I think these are quite hard conversations, so I think we're only going to have 4 teams. Okay, four groups. That's why I have it like this, so I can pick how many groups I'm going to have, depending on who's here and how you feel and how you're getting on. And also it makes it different every time. So I'm going to create 4 rooms, automatically created. Okay. So yes, that's 4 people per room. That's pretty awesome. So in your room, there are a number of... Oh, that one's got stuck. Can we see that? Look, my goals got stuck. That's not good. So the easy way to unstick it, because it's going to be every room, is you cut it and paste it, and now it's unstuck. Okay, that's just a mural tip for you. So if one of them's stuck, I think that's the only... Oh, no, see, this one on the other side's stuck as well. Cut it, paste it, and there you go. Problem solved. Okay, so that'll be a little extra puzzle for you to solve when you get into your room. What I'd like you to think about is each of these cards, is it an activity, right? Something that is done by people? Is it an output, something your organization produces? Or is it an outcome? Something that changes the behavior of our users, of our customers. I think I'll bring down these. Unlock, and I'm going to bring that down, stick it over here, and make it a bit smaller. Oh well, I made half of it smaller. I'll fix the rest, just so that we've got those words there. Okay, I'll fix that while you're in your breakout rooms, so you can have a look as well. Does everybody understand what we're going to do? It's just a card sort. Okay, cool. I'm going to click open. It'll take about 10 seconds for the rooms to open. And I've even fixed, well, mostly fixed. It's always good fixing things on the fly. There we go. So let's make that shorter. There we go. Up, up, up. There we go. And then, oh. SG, did you get kicked out or did you just pop back in?
I got kicked out.
You got kicked out. Which room were you in?
I don't know.
So you're room 2. At the top of your Teams window, there should be a button that says go to room or join room or something. Can you see that?
I do have show device setting into full screen, show background effect.
So it's not on the ellipse menu. It should be just on the top bar next to the leave button. Are you using the web-based Teams or the desktop app?
On desktop app. On Mac. On Mac.
Oh, now you're out with the bounds of my knowledge experience then. Let's see. So it's still not realized that you're not in the room. So why don't we have a chat here? Let's go down to, there we go. I bet you it's stuck. Oh no, it's not stuck there. Okay.
Like, you know, I'm one of your buddies, one of your PhD guys.
You what? Sorry.
I'm one of your Scrum buddy.
Yes.
Awesome. Welcome to be here.
I just opened because it was coming in meetups. I thought, hey, let's meet the great person today.
I would not say that I'm a great person, but I guess that what I've found is that loads of people don't understand that training can be fun. So that's why I'm doing these as live events, because then people can watch the recording later and see, oh, that looked like a fun interactive experience. Maybe I should go to a class. That's the idea.
I know you always do amazing job in fact. So it's always a great learning.
I am just making it up as I go along. So, because I really struggled to create this session. Just trying to get something around Agile leadership is quite hard, and then you don't know who's going to turn up. So if I got a bunch of CTOs turn up, right, this would be a whole different experience than it seems like I've got a whole bunch of people that work on teams that are perhaps very close to teams. So it definitely, it's how do you balance that? So I wanted to come up with something that might work with both. That was the idea anyway. So I got lots of help. Jim Salmons helped out, and Simon Randell helped out. So that's good. Are you enjoying it so far?
Of course, that's why I'm here, right? To learn from everyone, to see what great Martin is doing.
Well,
Yeah.
I posted on the Slack group, but if you want to come to any of my classes, it's free. I don't charge for PSTs.
What the great things about PST community, specifically the step you have taken, which is very bold, right? Generally, we see we are charging $500 for XYZ, but I really love your approach. Yeah, I'm not paying anything, so
Yeah.
I'm not charging from you.
You don't cost me anything, so why should I charge you something? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't seem. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I've been trying out a lot of different things recently. So I've been I do this thing where if you're if you're unemployed or underemployed, you just pay $300 deposit to come to the class, and then you pay the rest when you've got a job. So that's quite good. I'm doing what's it called? Like refer a friend. So if you refer a friend, not only do they get a 20% discount, but you get a 20% store credit for every friend you refer. So if you refer 5 people, you get a class for free. That's kind of trying that out, see if that works. I don't think anybody's used that one yet, but
I need to connect with you to get all these tips.
well, I have them all published on my website, and I have a terms of business page with all of my stuff on there as well. And I try and post as much in the Scrum.org community on what I'm trying as well, to see if it works. Yeah, because anything that makes the whole community better helps us all. So, one sec. I was mi esposa wanting to know when dinner was.
And I hope you're not recording this part of discussions.
Well, it's going out live.
Okay, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Well, so I always find that I'm a software engineer, therefore I am pretty lazy. I like to make my life as easy as possible. If I live stream it, I don't have to upload it, and I don't have to edit it.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's always good.
That saves me a whole bunch of time later on, because then it's just a little bit more real as well for people that are watching. They can always skip ahead. I have gone on, and you know how YouTube can do the chapters. I have gone on and done chapters for each of the exercises for some of them, so that people can skip. And I'll go, especially on I think we had 20 minutes at the start of pending before we started, so I'll go chop that out of the YouTube video, but you can't chop that out of other platforms. So, but I'm experimenting with more tools.
Yes, it's always good doing new things and publishing it over, so the people know, people learn from that.
Oh, this is a hard exercise. I think 10 minutes is definitely not enough. Well, room 1's all gung-ho.
Yes, actually, I tried in one of my webinar, something like that, not exactly this one. And I added 2 more things. I added input and impact also.
Yeah.
Basically. And that was too much. That was too much.
Yeah, I'm trying to... So, a couple of these exercises I built for the EBM course. So this is me first time trying them out as well. That's the other reason I do these, is that I can experiment with some of the different exercises and layouts. I did the training from the back of the room, I finished up that course last week. So I feel like I learned a lot from that. And I've been trying to apply it. I don't know if you saw, but my headings were connections, concepts, concrete practices, and conclusions at the top. So I'm just trying it out, seeing how I get on. But also, I'm starting the ORSC training in a couple of months, doing the organizational systems thinking thing with Scrum.org.
Yeah.
Yeah. See where that goes as well. I don't know. It's always fun to learn new things.
Because there are a lot of learning over there, right? You'll be doing real analysis and you'll be going through all those coaching practices over there. So I'm sure that is going to be amazing.
Yeah. I just noticed I've got a new button in Teams. Since this morning when I ran a different workshop, they've updated Teams. So that's always fun. And then what's that?
You are a team guy basically, right? And
Yeah. I use Teams for all of my workshops and all of my training. I don't think I've participated in training with Zoom. I've never run a training with Zoom. But I have tried to run a training with WebEx. That we switched to Zoom within the first couple of hours. Switched to Teams within the first couple of hours because it didn't work out very well.
I use WebLoad in my organization.
I'm sorry?
I'm using WebEx Load in my organization and it worked quite fine. But before few days, I will say it was better than now. That is what I will say. Now it has become very heavy, resource heavy.
And Teams fluctuates as well. I think they all do because they try and add new features and then it adds more load. So then they have to go fix the features. And this account is in the technology advisory group for Microsoft. So I'm Windows 11 as well as Teams Insider Preview as well. So we'll
how many in row you are MVP now?
Sorry?
How many years you are continuously MVP?
13 years.
Wow, man. Wow.
13 years. Yeah. I know it's actually there's no I got my MVP in 2008, but in 2008 they gave you the MVP for the next year, and then in 2009 they started giving you the MVP for the year you're in. So I have 2 2009 MVPs. That's my claim to fame there. So I've clicked the link to bring everybody back. There we go. Wow, that looked hard. Anna's group stormed through it and got everything done in like the first 6 minutes.
Do you have the echo as well?
I do just now. I think. Yeah, thanks, Harry. I did mute you and then you muted yourself, which unmuted you because I'd already muted you. But yeah, that's good. The joys of meetings. It's okay. These things happen. Does anybody want an awesome tip for the coolest device I have bought? It's this thing here. It's called a Mute Me. Okay, and it's glowing green.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I have reduced the number of times that people have had to say to me, "You're on mute," from many to none, pretty much. Very rarely, because I can see it glowing right here, and it flashes red when it's on mute. It's awesome.
Look what I have. The big enter. You can stick it to your computer.
You just mash it. Yep. That's so the Mute Me only comes from Portland. It's like $30, but delivery to the UK, because we did stupid stuff the last couple of years, was like $40. It cost more for the delivery than it did for the price. It was totally worth it. Yeah. It's one of the best pieces of kit I've bought. So useful. So useful.
So you're not running it over your Stream Deck anymore?
So I've got the Stream Deck here, but it doesn't draw your attention like this. It's like a big hockey puck that glows green when you're not on mute and flashes red when you're on mute. So it's very easy for me to, when I'm looking at you, I can see the green glow. So I know that I'm not on mute. It really helps. Really does help.
We can all see your green glow in your glasses.
Well, that's because that's the screen reflecting in my blue light lenses. Yeah, I need to figure out how to fix that. I maybe just need more expensive glasses. That could be the thing.
So we need to have the word demonic in there as well.
Johnny Mnemonic? No, that reference went over everybody's head. Never mind. Except for Ov. He found it funny. There we go. It's always... Oh, and Alex got it. Cool. Need to watch more movies. So, how did you get on in that exercise?
Mostly confused, but
Yeah,
we had some leaderships. Not everything was like we are totally sure about where to assign it.
I believe that some of these things, depending on how you look at it, how you think about measuring it, could be in one of two categories for sure. There's definitely things that I would say are on the line. What were the things that you found most contentious?
Obtain government EV certification.
Yep.
We weren't sure if it's an activity or what would be the difference if we use not obtain but obtained word.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to get that semantic. Every single group put it in activity. So I definitely think I think it's an activity, something we're doing. But yeah, you're right. It could say obtaining. Yeah.
And even for, at least for me as a non-English, obtain, for me it's two. You can use them in both scenarios. You have obtained it and you're obtaining it.
Yes.
Because
Right. It
But-
can be a goal or it can be a result.
Yeah. So if you've obtained it and you have the certificate, then maybe it feels a little bit more like an output. Yeah, that's
in my head, it's the duality of that word, at least in how I interpret it in English, is I can use that in both sentences based on if I'm doing it or if I got it.
so that is an interesting point of, does the language of your goal matter?
Sorry.
The language that is used in your goal, the words that you use, the choice,
Yes.
it's going to matter. If maybe obtain government EV certification is fine if you've got a team in the US or in the UK, but if you have a multinational team with people with different languages, maybe that's not a good word because it's ambiguous. Or maybe it just needs explained, right? What do we mean in this case? Okay, now we get it, right? But anytime it's ambiguous, a new person is going to be confused, aren't they? Yeah, so maybe it could have been worded better. I really like the achieve 90% fun rating on driver experience. Driving should be fun. Increase ROI by 12%. Is that an outcome or an output?
Isn't that an outcome?
But yeah, it's confusing because we've got the number here, so maybe it's like something like product because it's the certain number. So like Let me know.
So the achieve 90% fun rating on driver experience is about the customer. It's something that the customer gets, right? Increasing ROI by 12% is not something that happens to your customers. That's definitely something that the organization produces more money based on the investment. Does that make sense? So I probably slip that one over the line. Reduce company carbon footprint. That sounds like a outcome. Something we achieve, something that impacts our customers or makes them want to buy us because we do it. But things can go in more than one category. Shaping your goals is actually quite difficult. Right? These are goals that somebody else shaped and we're struggling. Which category do they go into? The words matter. Them being specific and understandable is really important. Where are we for well, we have what, 7 minutes left. I know I always go over, Peter. I know I always go over. I'm one of those folks that can't keep to a time box. I should really learn something like Scrum or something. That would probably help. But I don't know. When I'm having fun, I don't like time boxes. Right, and I'm always having fun. So I did have an exercise for you here. I don't think we're not going to do it because it's gonna take too long. But what we can talk about is the outcome, right? The bit that I have on the right, which is what to look at. So in who's heard of something called evidence-based management? It is not a software term, although it's kind of been co-opted into software. Evidence-based management was something that started to be talked about 100 years ago. And it was when doctors, medical professionals, decided it was a good idea to base their decisions about your health on data rather than guessing and gut feel. Do we feel that was a good idea? This is the reason every time you go to your doctors, what do they do every time you go to your doctors? They take your pulse, they take your pressure.
Yeah, they measure something.
They measure something and they put it in the data. Because just your rate being at a particular level doesn't tell them anything. They have to see it trending over time. And if you go to the same doctor over many years, they'll see that trend of, oh, that it's substantially lower today than it was the last time I measured you. Therefore, there might be some reason for it. Data is important in making decisions. So what data should we gather? If we just look at one metric, we might make the wrong decisions because we're just looking at one thing. There's no balance. So here I've got something called the evidence-based management from scrum.org, right? EBM. And EBM talks about these 4 value areas, and I'm definitely going to caveat this for depends on how you build products, okay? So the top half there is market value. That's your product owner's world. So if you're thinking about your product or your organization, you want to measure these 2 areas. What value do we currently have in our organization or in our product? Right? So the goal there is to maximize the value that the organization delivers. Right, just now. What are we delivering just now? And then you might ask some questions. How happy are the customers? How happy are the employees? How happy are your investors? Right, it's about your current product. And we can...
So,
yes, Melina?
no, when you are talking about these things, I think that the first column in outcome should goes to the output. I don't know if I can explain it good, but it's not something that makes the company more attractive to the customers. Let's say something like that. That's my explanation.
So
But
you're...
that's, sorry?
The items of value in your product might be the result of driving towards goals, right? So the goal might be what was one of the other goals we had? I can't remember now because my brain has moved on from there. But that understanding what the current state of our current value is going to help us when we create goals. Goals change behaviors. The data measures things that we can measure, and hopefully we can see how those goals affect those measures. Right? But if we don't have any measures, how do we know our goals are successful? How do we know we're making changes in the way we do things that have a positive impact on our product and our organization, unless we measure? And this is not necessarily just at a team level, it's at a product level. Which I guess might be the same as team, but also might be a lot bigger. Right? So we need to understand our current value and our unrealized value. Right? Our unrealized value is what's sitting there in our product backlog. Stuff we haven't built yet that we could get value from. Right? How would you measure that? What metrics could you come up with within the context of your organization to understand the unrealized value? Right? So those two measures are about the market, they're about business, they're about product management. The bottom two measures, it says organizational capability, but since I'm an engineer, right, that's the bit that's 100% within the control of your team. Right? The market value is we have ideas, we do experiments, we need to see if they work. The bit at the bottom, that's a little bit more fundamental. Do we have an ability to innovate? Right? Are we able to create new things, or are we stuck struggling with existing things? That's our ability to innovate. What might we ask in our ability to innovate? What prevents the organization from delivering new value? What prevents customers or users from benefiting from that innovation? Because just because we make new stuff doesn't mean customers are using it, does it? Maybe they don't know it's there. Maybe they can't find it. Maybe it doesn't work for them. So there are some concrete measures that I might use in ability to innovate. I might look at my cycle time or my lead time, right? How quickly can I get stuff in front of customers and find out we're building new things? Well, part of that is time to market. Sorry, that's my brain again. What percentage of our time do we spend on capital expenditure versus operational expenditure? That's the one I was thinking of. What other measures could you use inside of your organization to monitor innovation? Are you innovating? Are you not innovating? What can you do about it? Find the things that are inhibiting your ability to innovate. And then there's time to market, which is how quickly can you get the ideas in front of customers. Cycle time is generally referred to as how quickly from when the people doing the work start working on it to it's delivered. Lead time tends to be from when you have the idea to when it's delivered. Right? But also, what about the amount of time from when the developers, the people doing the work, are finished till you get it in the hands of your customers? Right?
Yeah.
If we're building software, maybe that's our DevOps pipeline, right? How quickly can we push our product out to our customers? What makes organizations successful in that space? Automation. Right? How much automation do we have? The level of quality, because we can't have high time to market if our quality sucks, can we? We need to have lots of manual checks in between us building something and it getting to the customer if we have a high defect rate. Somebody checking those things. So it's really important to have data to look at, to make decisions about data, but motivate people and connect them to your objectives through goals. So watch out. The thing to watch out for is bad metrics. I'm going to use an example of a bad metric. There's all sorts of bad metrics. Here's a bad metric, and it comes from a little company called Microsoft. They used to have a metric where every manager in the organization had to stack rank every one of their direct reports, and the bottom 20% was out the team. If you were in the bottom 20% 3 times in a row, you're out the company. How would that make you feel, Hannah?
Very bad. I'm not sure if I want to proceed there.
What you
that might be a motivation as well.
Yeah, but a lot of factors.
So the motivation, the motivation that did in fact happen, which is why they no longer have this policy, was that so it's definitely a sales-minded motivation, right? But what actually happened was when you have a lot of engineers working together and they feel like, even if it's not true, but if they feel like they're going to be in the bottom 20%, they don't feel like they can get above that, maybe I can sabotage one of my colleagues in order to get ahead. And that is what was happening inside of Microsoft. People were stabbing their teammates in the back in order to not be in the bottom 20%. The other side of that is somebody like Scott Guthrie in Microsoft, who was the head of Azure. He had an absolute rock star team that he'd put together. Every member of his team outperformed everybody else in the organization easily, right? Absolute rock stars. And at the end of every year, he has to lose 20% of his team. If you're a manager trying to build an effective team, how would that arbitrary metric help you?
Martin, just one point of view here. What if other way around? If an employee falls in low 20% for continuously 3 years, what manager was doing to improve him? I believe we should fire the manager in that case, right? Because managers are there to ensure people learn.
Yep.
Was he creating environment for them? No. If I'm the Microsoft director,
Yep.
I will fire the manager.
So the problem was that the manager was looking at the 5 other managers that also reported to the same manager he had to report to, and was more worried about not being in the bottom 20% themselves. Right? So one of that was one of the big changes that was made as part of the transition towards Satya, when Satya came on board at Microsoft again. Yeah. If you want lots of juicy information on that, you should read Satya's book, hit refresh. It has some awesome insight in there on the changes in culture and things that had to be made because of things that had happened over the years. I think the person who's in charge of a company should understand what it is that company is doing. And Microsoft is ultimately an engineering company. They're building products using software development. So I'm glad. For one, I'm glad that Satya is in charge, and not the other guy. Well, I think we're at 7 minutes over. That's pretty easy over, I think, isn't it, Peter? We usually like 30 minutes over, so that's quite good this time.
Continuous improvement. Let's say it.
Yes, I'm getting better at time boxing. Right, I'm definitely getting better at time boxing. I've been doing it in my classes. I have timers. I've been setting them, and yeah, I'm getting better at that. What I would love is for those of you that came along, provide some feedback. What worked well, right? The things that you want me to keep doing and keep. What needs to change? Peter, you were there for the disaster that was the lean session where the time box was completely blown. I think we did a 2-hour session that time. It was ridiculous. And the thing that needed to change then was the timekeeping. So I hope I've done a better job. New ideas to try. If there's something that you think you want, even if it's different sessions, right? Because I've usually by this point come up with an idea what I want to do next, but I don't have an idea what I want to do next in 2 weeks. So I'm going to have to think about that. So any ideas you have here will influence that outcome. And then any unanswered questions on the topic that you thought you were going to get answered, but you didn't get answered. Because maybe that's a session in itself. Oh, intro to design thinking. I think I need one of those first. Wouldn't say I'm a design thinking expert. Lean startup. Yeah, I have read the book. Yes, I like the way the exercises run as well, and I've added. They've definitely changed a lot, even over the last 3 months, in the way I do that. Oh, you copied it. So the link to the meeting is in the community site. If you open up the events tab, it'll say live on the left if the meeting started, right? And it'll have a little countdown if it's not. You can click on it, open up the meeting, and then it has a link in the meeting to join the webinar. It says either meeting link or webinar link. Is that where you found it, Melina?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I agree it could be more obvious.
But I added this event to my calendar, private calendar, so I've got the link directly from the calendar.
Yeah, and the link in, yeah, perfect. This is the best tool I've tried so far for doing this. Peter might agree. He's been through my learning experience of sending out invitations for these types of things. And I think this way is working the best so far. Although there's still quite a few people that are like, I can't find the link. That's okay, we'll figure it out. It's a learning opportunity. Yeah, you're right as well. I didn't put the mural link in the comment early enough. That's because I only finished building it this morning. That's why the mural link. If I'd finished building it yesterday, I might have added it. Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
I added it after we started. So I cheated and changed it. Yeah, I cheated and changed it.
But there's one thing for I was again maybe in the invite or press maybe in the community, and the link is not visible for maybe, so you have to press going. That might not be obvious.
You need to stop clicking maybe off, because you had that problem last time as well.
Yeah, I know.
You should just.
I knew how to fix it. I press going when.
If only I could remove the maybe part. And it's either you're not going or you're going. That's what I would prefer. But yes, it is. I do not build the tool. I buy the tool. So sometimes I have to deal with the idiosyncrasies. Like I have to go manually create all the Teams links for it, which is sometimes a bit of a struggle. Oh, well, I'm glad that the Microsoft rooms the team rooms, breakout rooms are working better. We definitely struggled the first few times. I sent a bunch of feedback to the team that owns it, and they've definitely improved it. Definitely lots of improvement is good, much more stable. More about EBM. Yeah. So I don't like to make it a marketing thing, but I have an EBM class later in the year, where I'm doing the PAL EBM, the new PAL EBM class. That'll be my first time teaching that class. I think it'll be fun. But Scrum.org has an EBM guide on their website. It's free. I have a copy in HTML form on my website. And there's some good information out there. Scrum.org has a bunch of videos on it as well on their website. So you should be able to find it. Salu?
Yes.
I might be saying that. Am I saying your name badly?
No, that's correct. Salu.
Okay, Salu.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm very glad to be here today. I learned a lot of things, and I'm leaving now. 1 hour drive now to go to work. I don't want to leave, but my time is over now.
Well, I am sorry you have to commute. Yeah. I'm enjoying my not commuting. That's what I'm enjoying. Thank you very much for coming.
How can I get this? How can I back to record this film again?
So the recordings are all already on my YouTube channel because we streamed live. So it's already there. Or it will be when YouTube process it, however that works.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for your time. SG, did you have a question? Get your hand up.
Nope, that's my mistake. Sorry about that.
It's okay. You playing with the features? First time in Teams?
I have a question actually. Maybe stupid, or maybe I shouldn't use the word maybe, but you read the questions from some kind of chat, but where it is, because here I'm looking on a chat of the meeting, and I do not have anything like the questions like you was reading. Did you read the questions from the audience here?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I actually.
It looked like that for me.
I was just looking over to see if we got any questions online, and I think we did, but somebody just said hello.
Yeah.
So
everything is fine with me. Yes. I was sure that you read the question.
No.
I think what Melanie wants to ask questions you read from the mural. We put all the questions there. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to find a place because I just didn't see the questions you wrote. I'll find it. Good, that's all for me.
Thank you. Well, I hope this was useful. Looks like I've got lots of feedback to deal with. Yep, UX in Scrum. That is a dangerous one because I know some folks that will jump on me for that. OKRs in Scrum. There's a good video on the Scrum.org website about OKRs. They did a session recently on OKRs. How do we know Scrum is working or failing? Yeah, that'd be a good one. Outside of IT. I taught police officers in Ghana. That was a lot of fun. One of my most fun gigs I ever had. Scrum at Scale. Opinions about SAFe. Don't get me started about SAFe. We can talk about that all day. And maybe some Nexus stuff. Yeah. These are all good ideas.
In this